Mr. Oliver?
Yes, are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you, but I'm not seeing you.
Just a sec. I don't know. Wait, look up.
You have to put on your camera.
Camera.
Hey.
Well, what a lala. It has been like forever since the four of us have been together. And in that time, them developed something called WhatsApp. And for today's purposes, them have something called Zoom. And the four of us, after probably a 15 or 20-year span, are now together again. Welcome, Dr. Oliver Samuels.
Every time people call me Dr. Miller, I don't know why.
Me sit down from last year because it's almost a year from the give you the little title, sir. And me say, I just waiting for call you Dr. Oliver Samuels. Stretchy Pooh, jump in, Uncle Stretch.
No, I listen. Oliver look like young boy.
Stretch, I'm in Belize. That's why I'm looking like this. I'm eating the nice Belizean foods.
What is the Belizean food you eating there now?
You want Johnny cake and fried beans and stir-fried vegetables.
Yeah.
Cool.
And all that kind of niceness.
So I'm to the
Sounding good, boy. Sounding good. So, Oliver, I'm glad to see you now, man.
Me too.
Because it's like you get rich and just hide out in a Jamaica and not come out at all.
I would have loved when you speak, you, Mr. Stretch, when you talk to me, I mention rich. You hear me? Because look how your background look like you're in a bar and me know says in your house you're there.
Oh, you know what's in my house?
Me know.
You fast, you know, man. Oh, God.
Yeah, Look at that palatial. Look at the palatial look of your dad. I don't know where that is.
Be careful, man, you bite your tongue about palatial. I want him, sir.
That must be where you play pool and all them something, man.
All
no,
that too.
Easy. Oh, no, easy. Okay, so listen. What I did for today, there will be a little bit, just in case there's someone on the planet who don't know who you are. And this is the first time. I know. I don't think there is. But just in case, tell us where in Jamaica you're from.
Well, first, let me say my name is Oliver Samuels, for those who don't know.
Dr. Oliver Samuels.
I am from the parish of St. Mary.
Wow.
In a little area, I was born in a little area called Tremolesworth on a plantation owned by the Delissas of the White Witch of Rosehall fame. My father was a casual worker on the estate, and my mother used to sell flan on the estate, like fritters, fried fish, fried plantain, bun, bread, torto, blue jars. For all those some person don't know what blue jars is, because also call it tire leaf.
Tire leaf.
And we call it pay me.
Trinis call it pay me.
Pay me?
Yeah, we call it pay me. Yeah.
Okay.
So listen here now. When did you know that this is it? I am going to become an actor.
Before that came to my consciousness, I have always been, but that's I suppose for another time. But the pursuit came about when once I went for the first time I went into a movie theater, and it was a Tarzan show, and in the show, or in the film, it was raining, and I felt the sensation of the rain and thought it was really raining outside because it felt as though it was raining on the zinc roof. And you know the feeling you get when them think that maybe no, because I live in a part of where we use zinc.
Hi, hello. We've been there, so we know what.
me come out and discover that it was dry. So I said to my brother, I said, Lord, it's funny. Look how inside, when we inside, it's rain a fall. And now out here dry. And he said to me, I flame you idiot, you. Now, I am sure I did not understand what he meant. But immediately after he said that, something spurred me to want to be in that magic, because it must be magical. That I am inside and rain a fall and me come out and rain a fall. You know? So, and it is from there that I became conscious that I want to be this kind of, I call it the magic, but it must have been when it spurred my creativity.
How old were you? Like you're a teenager or a little boy?
I must have been about 9 or 10.
Okay. That's sort of like North America, being born here. My brother Peter, and I too, for that matter, always used to wander in at the radio. My brother Peter bust up plenty radio to find the man where in at the radio talk.
Yeah.
So it's that same magic thing.
That same magic, yeah.
I compare my education being reared here. The only time that I got to or was instructed to do memory verses and recitation was in Sunday school, when we had to learn things like the Lord's Prayer and some Bible verses, and likewise hymns and so forth. But in my education, formal everyday school, we didn't do it. I'm wondering, growing up in St. Mary, a part of the education at that time, did you have a lot of recitation that you had to learn as a child?
Oh yeah. School, primary school, infant school, and Sunday school also, because even though we were on that little place, there, we had Sunday school. So we learned all of those things.
Stretch, I'm picking on you now, because the four of we, when we get together, we just pick on with one another. You have a recitation from when you was a boy that till today you still remember?
No.
Now, come on, man. Bust your brain little, or a favorite
I
one.
a brain left.
Oh, Jesus.
At my age, the brain thing no work too good, I might go say things when I Oliver been all over the country and say,
Look here, Stretch.
Oliver.
You're not in a confession booth now, so you can talk.
Confession good for the soul, Howard.
No, I listen. I really don't have one. My brain's not work. I just sitting here thinking this is nice to be sitting in a doctor's company. And,
Look here. I don't remember any full though, because at my Jurassic age here, I don't remember nothing full. But
I gotta use that. Jurassic. Yes.
But I remember Tom, the piper's son, stole a pig and away he ran, and something.
Yes.
And later on in my life, there was one that Start Where You Stand by our name, Tom Brady. Start where you stand and never mind the past. That's how when we learn to do enunciation and all that. The past won't help you in beginning new. If you connect anew and win success, and it galang.
All right, so now we're going to jump to current affairs now, because, we have an hour and a bit time, because you don't know the four.
I don't have all of that.
All right, good. All right, see it there. COVID. How did COVID treat you, sir?
COVID treat me like everybody else, poorly.
Okay.
It was a devastating pandemic. That up to now, I don't think scientists of the highest order understand. But we are survivors, especially we Black people, because if we survive, the transatlantic slave trade, then we can survive anything.
Thank you. This is where we have a dirty law here in Canada that is restricted in Quebec, restricting our freedoms. And I've been saying, me not take them on because we survived slavery.
Right. Now, for me, what it has done, and look here, let's face it, a lot of people make a lot of money out of COVID. For me, it has taught me, or it reminds me, that it is very important to save a little penny here and there whenever you can. Secondly, it shows me how when you are kind in times of need, that kindness
comes back to you.
Come back to you. And thirdly, it teaches me that it is important to get with the technology of the day. Because if without that you are lost. Look at, as you mentioned in your opening remarks, the four of us can be here talking now. Before COVID, our thing, it was necessary, it was important.
That's true.
Right? But this is one of the means. And also, it helps me to earn some money during that time, because I have used this medium here to host functions, and I have this friend Joan Pinnock in California, and she really seek out work for me using this medium. So a lot of things. It's not all negative. Enough millions of people dead and are still dying, and for those families, the sincerest condolences. But Pat, we die up.
True.
And we have to be grateful. It also teaches us, it should teach us gratitude.
You said about the COVID. What about the people who really sat on a radio? I was listening to what's his name on RGR, and he didn't say it, but he was almost telling the people, do not take no foreign needles because you don't know where this thing is coming from. This was the beginning of COVID. Did they ever get over that, or they're still in that negative tone? Because as you say, and as a lot of people say, there's a lot of money to be made.
In every walk of life, you see, Stretch, you're going to find those, we call them conspiracy theorists,
Right?
And
you're going to find the ill-informed, yeah.
Very
And
good.
so enough people not take it. Enough people say, Mr. Monday, the rich man's sickness. My name Bill Gates. And enough people have a whole heap of things to say. You'd be surprised to know how very many people, and almost illiterate people, who have some of the most incredible things to say about the fact that they're not to take it. You'll be surprised to know about the many very intelligent people. The president of the U.S., that's something else. But he has great influence, and influence over people. Enough for them dead, never to take it.
Right.
But it was a choice. It was a choice, and I did believe too that the scientists were just experimenting and trying to find formulas to help to alleviate the situation, which they successfully have done. So me take my joke them, and me take the booster, and me say if we get another booster, and me I go take it.
Yes.
Me not going into the whys and wherefore. When them did give me injection when we are picking, nobody never did that.
That is why I wanted to bring up poliomyelitis. I remember at Middlesex School getting my shot in my shoulder. I didn't argue with nobody. They say go to see the nurse, and you go see the nurse.
And you take it. So, sometimes we get so intelligent that we don't, it's not even good for us.
Yes, we turn fool. All right, I'm going to come off of
So
COVID.
true, yeah.
I want to, because in the interest of time, but one last piece I want to ask you. Did you find your artistry and your creativity creativity grow leaps and bounds during the COVID shutdown?
No, I became lazy.
Ah,
Like
okay.
everybody else.
You
Yeah,
did?
yeah. Okay. Let's jump to the Queen. Now, I know you like pomp and ceremony, but recently you've been advocating for Jamaica for left off of the Queen now. Exactly. Where do you see we are? After that, the big funeral and the people pretty hats them, because for me watch it for see the pretty hat them, because you know me love hats. And also, true, my mother now, if mommy had been alive, we'd all pack up over wrong at Addington and I watch it with her. So we did watch it, only thing she wasn't there. You tell me now your point of view on Jamaica and the Commonwealth.
Pat, I'm not a politician. I'm
You
a
know
comedian.
that. I know that.
My whole thing is my profession transcends politics. But you see, I have a blurb on my page, the official Oliver Samuels, about it. I did not think, I think it was foolhardy of our Prime Minister to be celebrating 12 days of mourning for, and I'm not going into the whole thing of a colonizer or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
I think it was foolish of our Prime Minister representing the nation to declare 12 days of mourning when England was mourning for 10 days.
Hi! Straight up.
You understand? It not make no sense to me. That was
Yes.
my major point.
Okay.
Now, in relation to reparation, if England saw it fit to have paid the colonizers and our slave masters, then what is wrong with them paying us back for all them only years of slavery that them have? So I do believe that, and I hope Charles honors that. That them pay me back.
Well,
we are to be paid.
My darling dear, I don't doubt it.
And they have enriched themselves and this kinds of stuff. So that is my position basically.
A time for we to get some of the brata too, and I will end the Queen portion unless Stretch, you had something to jump in on the Queens.
No, not necessarily. I'm grateful for having the monarchy there because it taught us a lot of discipline. And we grew up with that in Jamaica. We couldn't call our teacher by first name like I see they do here. And your uniform had to be tic-tac-toe. It had to be nice and all that. But that's as far as it went for me. So as Oliver is saying, it's about time they gave us back some of the blessing. Like when I saw they took the crown and they put it on the mantle there. And I'm saying to myself, that belonged to the people of Africa. So,
and India.
How would they distribute this wealth if they said, okay, $700 billion back to Jamaica? Who would get this wealth? Would it be distributed amongst the people who already have it and who has the common sense to steal it from the small man? Your opinion?
No, Sledge. There is evidence of how the people were removed in every parish. And
Yes.
I believe there are honorable institutions there that could think. But again, and government has to be involved, and I don't think government will want to have these organizations handle money because so them have to look something out of it too. But there are institutions that are capable of doing it. There are who know of this situation as it stood, because apart from the fact that England had erased some of the historical facts, there are enough there for them to be awarded or rewarded.
All right.
No,
So
you touch on something about the whole thing of discipline and uniformity and all like that. And we could go on the branch say, if they weren't there, then what? We must remember that our civilization historically was not as crude as it was portrayed. It is part of the colonization of the British that caused us to believe that we were inferior, and they have made us civilized. It's nothing further from the truth.
So well said, well said.
All right, I'm coming off of the Queen right now in the interest of
Me
time.
never the family Queen, you know.
But current affairs.
I was talking about my prime minister.
Yeah.
Yes, the family still.
Current affairs, but I will close by saying, you see the crown where did sit on that coffin. My hopes whenever in the next 6, 7, 8, 9 months, when King Charles forget coronate, and go buy one new crown because and give back the people them then jewels. But that's another interview with you for get your opinion on that. I want to go.
I can tell you flatly, I have nothing to say about it, because why them wait till now? The Queen have got the crown and the drill for much years. Why they weren't fighting for it for a long time? Why we only have voice now? People in Jamaica were talking about reparation for years. And nothing new. So I'm not talking about the crown drill and nothing. Maybe one of the Indian chiefs, them or whoever, they give the people them that. Me not going on that.
Where I want to go now is you now have a new play, Oliver Backyard, which people around the world, I believe, can just pay something nominal and watch all the various episodes in the comfort of their homes. Tell us about that.
You go to First In Line Plus .online, and you can download 4 episodes of my new play. Streaming. It's not a play. It's a series called Oliver Backyard, or for the English lovers, Oliver Returns.
So now, essentially, you did there foreign for one long time, and when you come back, things that you've been sending your money for to do, you'll come find and say, what?
And that's I'm so happy you stopped there. You have to go online at First In Line Plus .online to get the full story.
Marketing.
Yes.
I love it. But the little that I've seen, my viewers and listeners, the little when me see.
How you get to see them in a seat? That no fear.
Go online stretch.
Thank you. Tell him again, Oliver. Tell him.
Go up online at firstinlineplus.online to see Oliver Returns or Oliver Backyard. It's a reboot of Oliver at Large.
Well, what I want to ask you about there, you touched earlier on technology, and one of the things that in looking back, video cassette and the monies that you didn't gain, would you agree with me when I say all them people were rub off tape? Is that make you, and that's so your popularity grow so till all you could do is travel all about and then charge the money where you fi make. Would you agree with that as a statement?
No, I'm partly. All of the money where the pirate them make, if them have any conscience at all, they should have
That's
sent
so
it
fear.
to me.
Yes.
Out of that, you learn it. You have protect your property.
Hey,
Yeah.
yes.
You
And-
understand?
Yep. 1988, I met you when
They're
you were
called
doing with Pirate what?
They are called pirates. The so-called whosoever used to phone at the station. I said, shut your mouth, shut me one tape the station. You chat too much. They are
Yep.
called pirates.
Pirates.
I just name them for you.
Yes.
Oliver, may I see your head top? May I see you?
Oh,
Nothing.
sorry, man.
Okay, baby love. 1988, when I met you, I was pregnant with Alicia. You were doing Devin Horton's Big Yard 1. Do you have a notion of how many plays before 1988 and to today that you have done? What are your by the numbers like?
What do you think? It's in the about 65, 67.
67. And do you have a favorite?
Oh yes. My all-time favorite is Schools Out.
School's Out?
Yes, and then things like Rasno and the Hawk,
Yeah.
Class of 72.
Ah.
Yeah.
Now, I want to localize this a bit. You spent about 8 weeks here in Montreal, and we walk up and down. You did have your winter coat. You got to get your bus pass. You take bus, the 55 bus, up St. Urban to go. All them things. A lot of the newer generation, you know, say you can take bus and metro U1 in Montreal and go up and down.
Thanks
Talk to
to
me.
you, Pat.
Don't tax the Black Theatre Workshop and me show you the ones that you branded good so you figure it out after that, right?
If
You
I
mean the man
know
bring-
me that last every day.
Here, what I want to ask you when I bring, do you think it's time to do, not necessarily here in Montreal, reboot Trevor Roan's Smile Orange? And does it have any current value to today's audiences?
It would aspects of it would have to be rewritten.
Updated for sure, right? Rent a tread would have to be put in, I imagine. Okay, and 3 last questions here for you. I have noticed that York University in Canada is currently now teaching Jamaican patois, whereas we've been doing it for a long, long time, jumping, if you will, one of the people who really pushed that movement. He was just one of them, Rex Nettleford, and his contemporaries. And so I have 3 little statements here that I want you to break down if you remember them. And for Jamaicans who may have forgotten, but for all of the other viewers and listeners, right? So I'm going to throw them out to you, and I want you broke it down for me there. Me and Satan and a renky.
Me and Satan and a renky.
Yeah.
Oh, I have never heard that expression. Never heard that expression. But of course, look at it. I just feel that you're talking to somebody. It is demeaning somebody, and you're calling them Satan. Satan is, in our experience, the negative, the wicked. So me and Satan are playing Gungo line. We're not in class.
That's what it's supposed to be said.
As I look at it, as me and Satan and a friend, so till we wrap up close and can get rank.
No. You're not gonna wrap up with the enemy.
Hey, right? See, I'm the blind here and there. Here's the next one. Can't catch Kwaku, you're catching short.
And look here, that is something I hate to tell you, which has become so very serious in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Me and you have something. Me and you have war. And me no say you're bad man, so me run. You go, you kill me, mama, you kill all the dog in the yard and all of that. It's serious. That is a very serious statement. Can't catch Kwaku, me catch it shot. Me can't catch a picnic, me catch a poopa, the mama.
Can't catch Kwaku, you catch
You
it shot.
can call names, me not call no name.
Call name of my friend. You live at Jamaica,
Me no want no all those company.
And the last one, and I this could be a word or a phrase that could be particular to my family, but I said I would ask you just in case, but it's one that I have heard a lot since I was a little kid. Look on that de langilala, man.
Eh?
Look on that de langilala, man.
Where's Langulala?
Yeah. Broke it down.
Maga man, Lang Maga Slim Smaddy.
Tall, Maga
Yeah.
and tall. And before I close, I want to ask you, what is your favorite folk song? If you have one.
It's a good one. But if I don't know if you want to call this folk, but me love have lion heart.
Yeah.
Me love have lion heart.
Yes.
Strong and everlasting. Only for you.
Apparently that was Miss Lou's favorite one as well.
Will never die. Me love will never die. Shining like the sunshine. Only for you. And it goes on and on and on.
Well, Oliver,
Well,
you do a visit home to Montreal and feel we love have Lionheart for you, me love.
before you go, Oliver, can I ask you some things that are familiar with me? What is happening with the Ward Theatre in Kingston at Parade there? Is it still in existence?
Stretch, why I never put that into the body of the question here? It is still in existence, not existing.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God.
Boy. Nothing is going on there?
No, and I think the mayor, is it the mayor, not the mayor, some very important persons in the municipality of Kingston has been working on it. I am supposed to be a member of the committee. I have never been invited to a meeting, but plans are afoot to revive and to resuscitate and to
My God. That's such a beautiful building.
If you had enough money and could buy it, what would you do with it?
I would make it into the board that I found it in at the time. But what it requires, is the clearing of the area. And where you can find parking. We need to find a city somewhere in the world, and I think Spain is probably the best place to go to make it into this open space with this wonderful building and where people can go sit down. And Kingston was like that some years ago. And we set up parking and all like that. But it's a big project. But I did hear at some point that the Spanish government was willing to invest, to give us some money. But me no know. We look, some of us are just talkers, yeah.
All right. One last one, Pat. Tom Redcom Avenue Little Theatre. Where does the youth go? In my days, we had theaters. Now you could go do a Sunday evening show, sing a couple of songs, make a fool of yourself. Now, apparently, there's not too many theaters in Jamaica. Now, up on Tom Redcom Avenue Little Theatre, where the creative sources used to go, is it still in existence?
It is still in existence. Well, naturally, COVID has impacted negatively on the space, but it's opening up now, and things are happening there. There's a group of us who have pledged to do a major work for the little theater, because we did benefit from its work and from the mission that the Fowlers did have
Passing it forward.
All right, we're gonna let you go. I want to before I let you go though, they still have pantomimes.
That's a good question. No, can I say yes and no?
Okay. That is such a politician answer, but you say you're not a politician. But I get what you're saying.
I just want to say one thing. One question I just want to ask. Compare the audience like back in the day, in the early days, to now. Do you think they understand the patois much better now than before?
The audience where?
Anywhere you go, like over, especially abroad.
If I went to Trinidad, no. Them understand me.
Yes.
You know why? Because wherever I go, I mean,
Uh-huh.
I'm presently in Belize
Right.
to do 3 performances of our show, and
Right.
Belize are going to understand.
They do?
They Oliver
Uh-huh.
Samuels, and it's amazing. And
That's right.
I mean, Belizeans have a way of speaking. Them have them patois. It's with an accent. But yeah, they do understand. Trinidad have you know they go your accent, but you understand what me I talk about.
Yes, well, I do, But that's,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's good, though. Because I know back in
Yes.
the back in the day, in the early days, like in the 70s, 80s, like you had to talk kind of especially when you travel outside. You have to be talking so slow for them to catch or to understand what you're saying.
It's not like that. No, it's West Indians on a whole. There is a great movement of intermingling and all that kind of stuff. And so, you know, they understand. I mean, Jamaica talk, Barbadian talk, Trinidadian talk, and all of them are in one community. They become
Yeah.
friends
Vinci, Grenada, yeah. And also, too, I think what has helped is the technology that we've mentioned a couple times, because we're consuming each other's products, each other's funny comedians online, our music, the films, everything that we are. It's a very interesting time for a Renaissance man like you to live in.
what we truly need is to ensure that CARICOM is active.
Yeah. And they have a
actually
cultural component within
represent
CARICOM.
Caribbean peoples. And then we would have a world of our own.
Exactly. Yep.
With that, I'm going to thank you for your time today. It is a joy for the 4 of us. I can't wait to come. And the 4 of us, we need a road trip, Howard. Howard, we need a road trip to Jamaica.
We need a play in Montreal, but stretch go on like Imagine and me and Nancy.
We work on that. We work
Okay,
on
brother.
that. Definitely.
Kwaku.
Oliver, two general, one bigger Nancy.
Thank you so much for speaking to me, and I wish this content goes out and makes some sense.
Yes,
God
it
bless
does.
all 3 of you, and
Yeah.
blessings and success on whatever you do.
You too, continue to fly the flag and keep us. A lot of your content during COVID kept me warm and laughing. It was great to be able to have you close to me, although we were miles apart.
Yeah,
Lots of
always
love.
close.
Break a leg in your 3 Belizean shows, okay?
Thank you so very much.
All righty. So if you want to see Oliver's latest production, 4 episodes can be downloaded from firstinline.online. That's firstinlinepluS.online. And for sure, spend little money. All you mean.
Oliver, you large, oh.
Yes.
You're still large, my brother.
It's still large. It's still large.
All right,
God
bro.
walk with you now.
Cool.
I'm glad to see you.
Yeah.
You too, Baba. You too.
All right, my
right.
brethren.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Walk good. All right.
Yes, thank you.
Now, bucket to you know, just walk good.
Hey, me know. Me wait. Bye.
Howard.
Bye-bye.
Bye, darling. Howard, I like the fact that 3 of us tag team on this one. And I long to see you till a shot, right?
Don't get short. Get long.
Get long, get long.
Langilala, to be exact.
I tell you.
Hi. All right, we out of here. This has been a West Indian Rhythms and Boom Boom Time co-production. And you will find it on our social medias and our individual shows. So we'll give you a teaser on the radio so you can watch it on our online platforms, okay?
Good.
We out here. I am Pat Dillon Moore, and you are?
The angel.
And he is?
Howard Franklin Montgomery Carr, all the way from beautiful Manchester and Clarendon and all over Jamaica. Thank
Lance, your name Stretch. Goodbye.
you. Oh God, a man can have liquor class, man.
Go wrong, yeah, Stretch.